fact of the matter is, flutists have to play piccolo. I mean, there's nothing worse than sitting in front of music and all of a sudden you see those dreaded words, take pick, and you don't own one. And a lot of people think it's a miniature flute, and it's not. It's an instrument unto itself. And the piccolo can be such a beautiful instrument if played correctly. And what I try to emphasize in my boots is that if you just play the piccolo a little bit every day, literally, I'm talking just a few minutes a day, you actually can become a very good piccolo player. You don't have to sit and play hours and hours a day on a piccolo to be a competent piccolo player. Most flutists are expected, all flutists are expected to play piccolo if you're going to go play it in anything established. And plus you become a double threat, and you're going to get hired more, and you're going to play more because you play flute and piccolo. And a lot of parts are written for flute and piccolo, so you should play both. So that's why I do dedicate 4 pages in the manual. 1, because I want you to know the tendencies of the piccolo. I want you to know about the intonation of the piccolo. A lot of people don't realize the piccolo tapers at the foot, the flute tapers at the crown. That means the intonational tendencies of the piccolo are the opposite of the flute. Even if you just get a cheap one, just to get yourself started, you should play piccolo as well. I have a lot of students that come to me with anxiety questions. How do I get over performance anxiety? I want to challenge first chair. So I want to give some students some really rock solid ways they can approach performance anxiety. So I talk about, you can do mock auditions. You can play for your parents. You can play for your peers. Of course, number 1, how do you alleviate anxiety preparing for an audition? Be prepared. Be as prepared as you possibly can. Practice, 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 of course. But I put my students through rigorous numbers of mock auditions before they actually go and do the audition. Try to get into the venue where you're actually going to do the audition, so you're mentally in that space. And then when you go back home, pretend you're mentally in that space. Do everything from going and getting hot hands, to warm up your hands, to, making sure that when you go to the performance venue, don't talk to your competition. It's not a mean thing to do. It's just people play head games, so don't go there. I talk to flutists about flute friend, not flute foe. We have a big discussion about that because flutists are highly competitive. And there's only one first chair, and then there's everyone else. And unfortunately, there's, flutists can get mean to each other. And so I always tell them, be kind to each other, be kind. Don't be a flute friend, not a flute foe. There's only room for one. And I said, you have to understand, you're in my club. The minute you're in my club, you're playing, you all came together separately and decided to play this piece of plumbing material. It's a pipe. It's a pipe. You all decided one day, just randomly, just look at this neat pipe with holes in it. I want to play that. And you're all in this room together today because you all chose to do that. That means you're in a special club. You're in my club. That's pretty neat, So I always say, love each other, hate the clarinets. There's too many of them anyway, right? So I love that they, I want them to embrace and love each other and feel like they are in a special club. And then I try to give them practice routines that will be effective. And so a lot of them will just go home and just keep pummeling the piece. And they don't have an understanding of, wow, I should practice the basics. I should do scales, I should do perhaps maybe a study, maybe some tone studies. What should I do and where do I find those things? So I put a few of those things in the manual as well, so they can practice tone and practice vibrato and practice articulation and some simple things that they could actually do every day. This is for band directors, it's for teachers, it's for kids, it's for everybody. I hope that band directors find this helpful. I really hope that they find it to be all the tools, it has all the tools in it that they need, because it was a labor of love.